Just a few miles from downtown Boston, across the cold water of the harbor, lies a forgotten island. A place once filled with soldiers, guns, and life now sits silent. This is Fort Andrews, one of the last surviving coastal defense forts from the early 1900s, and today it's an abandoned military ghost town, slowly disappearing into the forest of Peddocks Island. Alright, so we just got off the ferry. It's time to explore this World War II base and see what this island has on it. This looks insane. I'm worried that it's all going to be boarded up. I'm not going to be able to find a way in. Very closed. Do not enter. Danger. No trespassing. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even see that one up there. Oh, there's another one up there too. Sweet. I already know this is going to be locked. Yeah. Not even an animal can get in there. Like those little birds on the ledge right there. Y'all stuck outside. Wait. Fort Andrews was built between 1898 and 1904 during a massive wave of coastal fortification known as the Endicott period. After the Spanish-American War, the U.S. realized how vulnerable its ports were, so it built a chain of modern forts to defend major harbors like Boston, New York, and San Francisco. Fort Andrews was one of more than 30 such forts built around the Boston harbor. Even that's boarded and bolted up. Its main mission, to protect the southern approaches to the city from enemy warships. So this was the bakery. That's pretty cool. Be cooler to be able to get in. Oh, there's fire station. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's locked. Oh, look at this old fire hydrant. This fort was named after Lieutenant Colonel Leonard Andrews, who was a career Army officer who fought in the Civil War. The fort had massive gun batteries, including Battery Rice and Battery Cushing, each designed to hold disappearing guns. A giant coastal cannon that could rise, fire, and then drop back behind protective walls. At its peak, the fort housed over 400 soldiers. It had everything a small city would need: a hospital, barracks, a guardhouse, a post exchange, and even a theater. There was a baseball field where soldiers would play in the summer, and an ice rink that formed on the parade grounds during the cold Boston winters. So this was the old post exchange and gymnasium that they had for this base. Imagine what life was like here in the early 1900s. Winters were brutal, freezing winds blowing in off the harbor, cutting through every layer of clothing. Supplies came by boat, and when the harbor iced over, the soldiers were effectively trapped. But this isolation built a tight-knit community. They held dances, boxing matches, and movie nights in the recreation hall. In the early 1930s, the Army even installed a power plant and running water, making one of the more comfortable posts in Boston's harbor. One soldier once wrote home describing the sunset from the fort, saying the sky would, quote, turn red like fire, and the city lights of Boston looked like stars just beyond the waves. Today, the same view remains, but the fort he described is a shell of what it once was. These were the stables during World War II. Wonder what they're using stables for. Obviously horses, but like for why? Just wanted to hop in real quick and ask if you could please hit like if you're enjoying this video, and to subscribe for more adventures coming in the future. It really helps with the algorithm, it helps promote my videos, and it will get me closer to doing this full time, which is the dream. So appreciate you guys. Back to the video.
Yeah, every other building has no electricity. There's
Nice.
When the United States entered World War I, Fort Andrews became a key mobilization point. Troops trained here before being shipped off to Europe. The fort's guns never fired in combat, but its role was vital. It stood ready, a silent guardian against the potential attacks along the East Coast. During World War II, Fort Andrews found a new purpose. Many of the older coastal guns were outdated and replaced by radar and long-range artillery elsewhere, so the fort was converted into a prisoner of war camp, housing Italian soldiers captured in North Africa. Up to 1,000 POWs were kept here at one point. They were treated humanely, even allowed to work around the island and on nearby farms under supervision. Local reports at the time describe Italian prisoners singing on the parade grounds and playing soccer by the shore, a surreal image for what was once a fortress of war.
So this building was the NCO quarters, and this one was the hospital stewardess quarters. So this is where they would sleep.
By the end of the 1940s, Fort Andrews was obsolete. The era of coastal defense had ended, and the Army decommissioned the fort in 1947. Most of the equipment was removed or scrapped at that point. The buildings were left behind, their roofs leaking, their paint peeling, and their history slowly fading away.
These buildings just keep coming. There's so many of them. NCO quarters again.
But Peddocks Island didn't go completely quiet. Throughout the mid-1900s, families of fishermen and caretakers still lived here, mostly in a small cottage built on the island's eastern shore. Some of those homes date back to World War I, when officers' families stayed year-round.
Oh, my ankle is killing me. I don't know what I did to it, but it is killing me. Walking with a limp. Combined storehouse, building 36. Really wish there was a way into one of these without breaking anything. That's the only tag on this entire island. See the crack in the bricks right there? Going down like that. Oh my goodness. You can see those are footprints. People tried to kick this up. It's the only way we could get luckies if they left the door unlocked. Please have the door unlocked. Please, 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 please. Please, please, please. No luck. Bruh. There's gotta be one entrance somewhere to something. I mean, we got in the chapel, so that's clutch. It's weird. Let's see where this little trail goes. To a fire hydrant. Oh. Just in case you forgot we were on an island. We're on an island. There's some bricks down there. Must have been something built over here at some point. Some more bricks down there. There's a lighthouse all the way down there. I don't know if y'all can see it. Voila! Right there we have Boston, Massachusetts. Some snails. Some snails. Let them go. It's probably about 6 feet tall. I'm not sure if that's seaweed or if that's kelp. Look what we found. Look at what we found. A turkey. Look at him go. A turkey's just stuck on this island. Probably doesn't have any predators on this island. He's probably chilling.
As you move deeper into the fort today, the decay is everywhere. Deeper underground, the gun batteries are pitch black. You need a flashlight just to see a few feet ahead. Moisture drips from the ceiling, echoing through the tunnels. You can still see the circular mounts where 10-inch disappearing guns once sat. Their steel bolts still visible. Standing here, it's hard not to feel the weight of history. Every corridor seems to whisper. Soldiers marching, commands shouted, the clang of tools on steel. Now, it's just wind moving through empty halls.
This lonely little picnic table. That's a cool door.
Over the years, Fort Andrew has become a destination for urban explorers, history buffs, and photographers. It's one of the most intact of Boston Harbor's forts, more complete than Fort Strong or Fort Dawes, which have mostly crumbled away. The island has also made brief appearances in documentaries and travel shows, though much of it remains off limits to preserve the fragile structures. In the early 2010s, part of the fort was stabilized by the Department of Conservation and Recreation, but most of it is still in ruins.
Just the door on the ground.
There's a talk of restoring a few buildings for public tours someday, but the process is slow, and the elements continue to eat away at what's left.
Should have brought my better flashlight. What does this one have my name written all over it? Whoa. I have to watch where I walk in this one. Oh, maybe I shouldn't walk at all.
Standing here today, looking out from the ramparts of Fort Andrew, you can see Boston in the distance, skyscrapers glinting in the light, and planes passing overhead. A century ago, soldiers stood in this exact spot, watching for enemy ships. Now all that's left is silence and the distant sound of the sea.
So they were shooting these mortars off the island and at ships. So what they had to do, since they obviously can't see from right here because there's a massive hill, there was a tower up here or a building up there that other people would do the calculations for them and give them coordinates of where they should be shooting the mortar at. And then it worked, I guess. So they were basically firing blind. Too much water to go on. It's gonna be the same layout as the other one that I just went through.
Fort Andrews is more than a military base. It's a time capsule, a reminder of a forgotten era when America's defense depended on men stationed on remote islands, guarding the coast with guns that never fired a shot in anger. Today, nature has reclaimed the fort, but the stories still echo through every corridor and crumbling wall. This is Peddocks Island. This is Fort Andrews, and this is what remains of a fortress that once guarded Boston Harbor. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you guys want more wild adventures like this one. I'll see you guys later. Peace.